Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever you happen to be listening from. This is Mike from Comic Lore, and we have a great comic for Bruce Wayne where he has, well, I don't want to give away the ending, but Bruce Wayne has to deal with some deep stuff on this comic. And I really like it because it juxtaposes nicely with the silliness from the boss battle comic. And this DCKO event has been so great. It's giving us fun, light comics, but it's also giving us these deep, introspective works and look into Superman, or not Superman, but superheroes that we know and love. And I really, really enjoy this comic. Also, like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content and want to keep listening about new comics. Once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway where I will pay for a year subscription for someone either from Marvel Unlimited or DC's Infinite Universe online, so that you can also go and deepen your love for comics the way I have been doing over these last couple of years. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in. And the comic starts off with the drawing from little Alfred, who is Damien's son. And it says, "By Alfred, age 6, my daddy is my hero. My dad had a tough time as a kid. He grew up with ninja bats." And there's a picture of little Damien with his mom, Talia. And then it says, "When he was Robin, he traveled the world with his pet dragon and my grandpa." And he was, so it's Robin and Batman together. He said, when my grandpa died, he became the new Batman. And then he saved Gotham, the end. And it's so beautiful. It's a cute little picture. Anything, and I'm a dad now, so anything with kids loving their dads, it chokes me up, man. It's a beautiful way to start this comic. And we open up on Gotham City, but instead of being dark and gritty like it normally is, it's bright and light, similar more to like Metropolis than what you're used to seeing in Gotham. And we have these thought bubbles from Bruce, and he says, "I've lived in Gotham all my life, but I've never seen it like this. Damien tells me how it came to be, the hardships, the wars, the difficult truth about how I died, what happened to the Joker, how Damien stayed in school while training and eventually became a doctor, like my father, used his mind and resources to change the city. But this is more than a fresh coat of paint over its bleeding wounds. He healed the city to the point that it no longer needs a Batman. I know this is all just an alternate future constructed by the Heart of Apokolips to test me, to make me face my fears before it will return me to the tournament. But to be honest, I'm not sure I want to go home." And you have Batman sitting with his grandson as they're watching TV together. And Bruce is happy. Bruce is happy. And it's sad because he can't say. Batman's gonna Batman eventually, but the journey to get there is really beautiful. And he says, "I always plan for every possible outcome. I look at all the angles, strategize to make sure I always win. But I didn't plan for this. I never thought I'd get to have this kind of life to be." And you just have Alfred run up, "Grandpa," and it's, "How was kindergarten today, Alfie?" And he tells him, "It was great. It was show and tell today." And you see this big smile on Bruce's face as he's giving his grandson a hug. The Heart of Apocalypse is evil, man. It's so wrong. But he's walking with Alfred, and he tells him, "I wanted to bring," or Alfred tells Batman, "I wanted to bring a batarang from the museum, but the teachers wouldn't let me." And Bruce tells him, they're probably right. And Alfred says, "But batarangs are so cool." And Bruce tells him, "When your dad gets back from his trip, maybe we can convince him to take you to target practice." And Alfred looks at him and says, "Grandpa, do you miss being Batman?" And Batman thinks to himself that he doesn't want to lie to him. "But whenever I close my eyes, the Heart of Apocalypse speaks to me." And he says, "I remember, this future is not a gift, Batman. This is not the end of your story." So the Heart of Apocalypse is cutting back in, just to give Batman a dose of cold water splash on the face to let him know that this is not a gift. You don't get to stay here. You tried to cheat to win and must be punished for it. You don't just get to live here and be happy forever. You must fight. You must fight this world. Prove to me that you are worthy to return to the tournament, that you might be a champion worthy of becoming King Omega. If you do not, I will punish you. I know how to hurt you and your heart. The heart wants me to fight. That's what Bruce is hearing from the Heart of Apocalypse, even though he's having this amazing time with his son and grandson. But so does my son. And it cuts to Damon, and he says, I searched the world and talked to all of our brightest minds, trying to find answers, a way to beat this Heart of Apocalypse. A lot of people think we're foolish, that this reality is real. But I managed to convince the Justice Legion to let me borrow some forbidden technology. I know we can find a way to protect our world while also helping you. But we need to play the heart's game as well. And Bruce is thinking the heart wants to manipulate me, and it's doing a good job of it. Hey, old man, dude, good to see you. What are Damon called a family meeting? So the whole Bat family are coming together to support Batman and Damian to try to, beat the Heart of Apocalypse. And Bruce says, it warned me that it was going to punish my heart. And we have someone going, holy crap, it's really him. Hey, cuz, you look good as an old man. I missed you, old Bruce. Jason, I never thought we'd see you again. So it's a family reunion with Batman and his entire Bat family. And he says, and this is my heart right here in this room. And he asks them, why are you all here? And they tell him, you got to go back, Bruce. Damien told us the deal. Go back and take out whoever stands in your way and win the whole damn tournament. And they don't say exactly who this is, but given the color scheme, I'm going to guess that's Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon, who are giving this message to Bruce. And then Duke tells him, then handle Darkseid. If you do that and get the powers, you can make our world real. That's what's at stake for us, Bruce. The families we've built. The future we made together. And Damien says, so the heart wants you to take me down in a fight, right, Father? You spent years teaching us. You think an old dog can learn some new tricks? And the heart says to Bruce, yes, Bruce, what do you think? You really think you can win? And Bruce goes, and thinks to himself, my son is right. He always is. This is how we win. I try to distance myself from them, try not to love them, to focus on the fight, on Darkseid, but it's impossible. I learn about their lives. They tell me the stories of tragedy and triumph. They're happy, but it didn't come easy. It never does. And this entire page is interspersed with images of Batman connecting with the people of this world that the heart has created. And again, it's heartbreaking. Batman, who has known so much pain, who started his journey as a vigilante due to the loss of his family. And in this universe, not only does he have his family, he also has peace, but he can't keep it. And that's what makes it so gut-wrenching, because we know that Batman can't stay here. That's not who Batman is, even if that's who he wants to be. And he's continually thinking, and he says, in the past, I could never work in the open like this, because he's out kind of on a terrace on the top of a building. I had to be underground in the Batcave. Even the air here feels safer. This is the world Damien built. I question if it's real, or if it ever could be. I must do something different to beat the heart. It wants me to compete it. It wants me back in the tournament. But why? And he says, you're getting better. And we realize that somebody was sneaking up on him, and it was adorable little Alfie. And he says, I had you. And Batman says, you did, very close. And again, just the joy in the art in these pictures. Everything's so bright, so beautiful. It's not a typical Batman comic. And when you see Bruce, his smiles, he looks so relaxed, so jovial. It is really great to see this side of who Bruce could be if things had broken a different way. Or maybe if he, broke some of his own rules and got rid of some villains for good. But that's a conversation for another day. And Alfie asks him, what are you building? And Batman tells him, it's a gift for your dad. I call it a bat box. Cool. Alfred, wait. Cool. Dad said it's time. So a bat box, I'm wondering if this is like similar to a mother box, and it's going to give Damien the ability to come and jump over to the main DC universe, and we'll get like a adult Damien, adult Batman team up comic, which would be pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie. So that's pure speculation, but that would be cool if it happened. And Batman tells Alfred, and Alfred looks and goes, "Why are you sad, Grandpa?" And he says, "Because I don't want to leave. This world has shown me that maybe I don't need to be Batman anymore." And Alfred tells him, "But they need you to be Batman, Grandpa." And Bruce says, "What?" And Alfred tells him, "My dad and my aunts and uncles, they are who they are because of you. Don't you want to see them grow up too?" And Batman says, "I guess I do." And Alfred tells him, "Go get him, Grandpa." So this brings up something that I think is really important about this series, but I think they could emphasize even more, is that when you win, you get to reshape the world in your image. And that internal struggle, we saw with Superman when he saw this perfect utopia that he can make. I wish we could sit more in those moments, even now here with Bruce, where he's saying, this is the world we could have. If I win, I could create this world. I could be here and live here. But what that means is the destruction of everything he knows up to now. And it gives this deep philosophical question of, what's the right choice here? Do I make the choice where people are safe and happy, but I lose out on some great core memories with people who I care about? How does this affect Superman's family? How does this affect the rest of the league? He doesn't know that, but he has to wrestle with that. But he does know that the world is not a safe place. It's not in a good state. And all that's going through his mind, and I think that's a really good like narrative hook for this entire DCKO series. But I would just love more. I'm just greedy. I just want a little bit more. And it cuts over next panel, and Damien's in his Batman suit, and he says, "You ready to fight, old knight?" And Dick Grayson tells him, "Be serious, Damon." And Batwoman, Barbara Gordon says, "Don't forget what is at stake here." And Batman has a thought bubble, and he says, "We joke because we're nervous." And Batman says, "I've beaten you in a fight before, son." And Damien tells him, "Beating up a little kid is really something to brag about." And honestly, if the little kid is Damian Wayne, it kind of is. He's just two pieces, grown men all the time. It's always funny. And you see grown men trying their hardest to beat up a little 10-year-old, and he's just giving them the business. So, yes, if I, as a 38-year-old man, was able to beat up Damian Wayne as a child, I would take pride in that. Maybe not Batman, but I would. He says, "Yeah, but that little kid was a badass. His know-it-all attitude was his superpower. But you, again, Batman, touching on it, so proud dad. I don't think you have that edge anymore." And he's talking trash back with Damien. And Damien says, "Only one way to find out." And you can feel the pride as they're trash talking back and forth. Like every father's dream is for their kid to be better than them. And Batman gets to witness it. But again, it's going to be taken away. Sorry for the tangent, but man, what a beautiful story. And they start going at it. They start fighting. Their swords are clashing. And Batman is thinking, Damon is one of the deadliest fighters to ever live. But I can see in his eyes he doesn't want to win. And he says, "Damon, you're holding back." And Damon tells Batman, "So are you." He says, "Then fight me, son." And Batman says, "We fight like we've never fought before. I can see all the moves I taught him on display, but also the moves he's picked up since he's become Batman. Our attacks are filled with rage, but not at each other." And the heart is telling him, "Kill him, kill your son." And Batman says, "At the heart, the fight goes on for hours. I hate it." And the heart says, "This is what I want, you at your best." And Batman is thinking again, "But I'm also in awe of him. I've never been prouder. I owe it to him to give him my all, to all of them, to never stop fighting, to cut loose in ways they haven't seen, to angry And the heart asks him, ready to become King Omega? And Batman thinks to himself, but I have learned the hard way that this time, it's not my choice. And at this point, he's cut by Damian and he falls down. And Damian's like, get up, father. You have to. You must keep fighting. And Batman tells him, I can't do it. I can't win. And then the heart says test complete, which is crazy, right? Everyone who knows comics, anything at all about comics, is that Batman always has an answer. Plot armor to infinity. There's going to be some MacGuffin, some way for Batman to always come out on top and win. And for him to give up and say, I can't, I've lost. What what phenomenal storytelling. Just great. And the heart tells him, like, that's what I wanted to hear, basically. Like, you did it. And it says, game over. And Batman's like, what? And Alfred's like, Grandpa. He says, you know what to do, Damien. And Damien's like, Father, and he's screaming to the void as Batman is being taken away from them and being consumed by the darkness of the Heart of Apokolips. And it transitions to this black void, and Batman says, damn you, you wanted me to lose. And the heart tells him, this was the final test, Batman, to see if you could ever admit defeat. If you hadn't, I would have destroyed that road anyway. You were never going to escape my punishment. But now, you are nearly ready. All that is left is a leap of faith. Faith in Darkseid. The ability to defeat Darkseid and rewrite all of existence can be yours to make your family's world real. Are you ready to fight your allies, to show them no mercy, to cross the lines you promised you never would, to re-enter the tournament and become the King Omega? And Batman thinks to himself, before I questioned if I was still needed as Batman, if Gotham needed me, whether the city would be better off if my family took over. But now I know the truth. My family wants me to be Batman. They need me as much as I need them. The heart thinks it's won, that it's defeated me. It forged me to fight against my family. But that's the thing it didn't realize. It wasn't testing me. And in the background, there's these awesome images of the Bat family, young Damian, Jason Todd, Nightwing. You know, it's just a beautiful love letter to the Batman mythos. And in the end, the last panel, Batman says, it was training me to win. It says, to be continued in DCKO #4. So Batman's coming back. We're going to have Superman, Wonder Woman, Lex, and Joker fighting against the absolute version of Batman, absolute Superman, absolute Wonder Woman, Buster Gold. And the heart is saying that Batman, be ready to fight your allies. So is Batman going to be the final boss? Which would be amazing, which would be awesome. I don't know where this story is going. I am so excited for Wednesday. I know that it's going to be another amazing issue. Again, DCKO and the Absolute Universe is head and shoulders above anything else that is happening in comics right now, in my opinion. If you agree, let me know in the comments. If you disagree, let me know in the comments as well, because I would love to have that theory checked and enjoy some other phenomenal comics. But again, like and subscribe. Go ahead and join us on this journey. And if I get to that 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway to at least one of our subscribers so they can have a year's access to amazing comics as well. So if that sounds like good to you and you want to be a part of this journey, go ahead and join us. Have a great one. Peace.